you feel like Denver has 10 options off of what they're trying to do, and it's all because of this one guy.
You know, you look ahead with a potential finals matchup. I know people are talking about how this could be an epic series, and maybe so, but I'm not sure I'd pick, Denver in less than 5 games, maybe like 5-ish games in a series against Boston. I think Denver can click on an even higher level than what we've seen in the 2 games against Boston this year. So I think for the Celtics side of things, I would like to have seen them go with Horford on Jokic, with Porzingis on Gordon far more often, maybe as their primary defense. Drew Holiday, up until the clutch threes that he hit at the end of the game, he was terrible. Like that pull-up 3 he had with 19-20 seconds on the shot clock in the first half, I thought was representative of the terrible decision-making he had throughout the entire game. And most of all, where was Jason Tatum? Tatum felt invisible, didn't he, Chris? I know Jaylen Brown goes off, but it's so often this year when Brown goes off, Tatum just feels completely out of the game, and they really needed him, and he just so often felt like he wasn't even there.
It was strange to the point where I looked up and he is out there on the court, and I'm like, did he because they were like, oh, he's favoring his wrist or something. I'm like, did he go to the locker room or something? Like, he just wasn't even involved. And then, like, every once in a while, he'd get the ball on the baseline, drive in and score, or he'd throw up he had the reverse that he tried that was pretty spectacular that, didn't go in. But yet he just wasn't affecting the game at all. If we're talking about, like, who were you watching that was truly impactful? And he just was not impactful in this game. Jaylen Brown was mega impactful and kept them in this game.
Yeah, he did.
And then Porzingis showed up in a big way for that stretch in the fourth quarter. But yeah, like, that was one of the things. It's like, that most of these games, it's like, who's your best guy? My best guy's got the ball, and my best guy is deciding this. Hell or high water, that's what's happening. And that just was not the case. Like, Nikola Jokic is getting the ball every possession. He's touching the ball every possession. And it's just not the way it functioned. And I know that it's weird. It's almost like if it's not him, then it's somebody else. But it's very rarely like some kind of cutting or passing. Like, you feel like Denver has 10 options off of what they're trying to do. And it's all because of this one guy. And it feels like Boston, in so many cases, is a pass, and then it's who's got the ball, and they're kind of creating something. And maybe they'll drive, maybe they'll knock down 3. And they're obviously so individually talented that they can. But there certainly was not the feeling of, okay, it's go time. I've got Tatum, you've got Jokic. Let's see who's going to get this done. It wasn't that at all. At all. I don't even know how many times he touched the ball down the stretch. Seriously.
Versus Jokic, who that last pass to Aaron Gordon where it looked like a hook shot, doesn't that completely symbolize everything you just said about Jokic, where he gets this crazy double spin move into what looks like a hook shot, but it's actually a pass, because we've seen him make that lob pass to Aaron Gordon hundreds of times over the years. There's literally nothing you can do about Nikola Jokic. There's nothing you can do. There is no answer for Jokic, and that is the difference between him and virtually every single other player in the league. There's no answers for that guy at all. And for the Denver side of things, that's what they can go to in those end games. The 2-man with Murray, or just a Jokic post-up one-on-one. And if you send 2, he'll find somebody else. The dude is absolutely unbelievable. And I felt like that play, like Chris Haynes asks him right after the game, so was it a pass? And Jokic is like, yeah, it was a pass. I do that all the time to him. It's like, sometimes I don't even see him and I just throw it up because I know he'll find it.
Aaron Gordon, Kevin, has got to be the greatest dunker spot player ever. Like, that is always where they just throw a guy.
Dude,
it's
the
like
putback that made DeAndre Jordan almost like pass out on the bench.
Like, I have a show that I do with Tony Allen every week, and I used to always joke that because he was the dunker spot guy, and I'd say, "You'd never pay attention in the huddle," and he'd say, "Because the play wasn't for me, it didn't matter." I ask him, right block or left block, and that's kind of where you throw the guy that's not going to be spacing the floor. And so Aaron Gordon, in most cases, can go, all right, right block or left block. And, forget the alley-oop. How about the friggin' finish where he catches it below the net? The putback.
That's the one I just said, the putback. Yeah,
God.
That was crazy.
No, he's amazing. He's amazing at playing that dunker spot role. And, of course, Brown leaves him twice and has to pay for it twice because it's like a puzzle that Jokic has the answer to no matter what you do. I mean, for God's sakes, at one point in the fourth quarter, poor Peyton Pritchard, that possession that Pritchard got stuck on him. It's
that was weird. He opened the play on him. But the thing, this is like the thing where, like, let's say these teams do face off again in June, right? For Boston, on that play where Aaron Gordon had that vicious putback where he catches it below the rim and just yams it home. So Jaylen Brown helps on the Jokic spin, right?
Yeah.
And because he has to, because Porzingis got roasted on it like he did all night. He had to help. Tatum in those situations has to be ready to come down and help on Gordon. The issue then Michael Porter is in the corner. And Jokic, if he does, Jokic is capable of doing a wraparound pass to Porter as well. And this speaks to what we're talking about, where there's an endless amount of options when the ball is in Jokic's hands. Yes, Tatum could have tried to box out Gordon there in the dunker spot, but then there's Porter in the corner if Jokic had been able to find him, if Tatum had helped off actually more. So there's just an endless amount of answers there. With that said, Tatum should have more aggressively boxed out Gordon.
And this is where I will disagree with you. I do think if they matched up in a series that Boston, look, the 3-point percentage is the 3-point percentage tonight. And so if I'm playing that role, Tatum was crap and they didn't make any kind of threes. And I think they gave up over 51% from the field, something like that. To the Nuggets were over 50% from the field. And so I do think that, especially in their home arena, you get some more shots to drop. Also, as we know, when you get to playoff games, and this, like I say, felt like a playoff game, that's when your bench guys are better too. And the bench was a big advantage for Denver tonight. If we're talking about impact and who we felt was like truly impactful in this game, I'll be damned if that did not feel. There was a moment where I'm watching that game and I'm going, Jesus, they really just replaced Bruce Brown with Peyton Watson. Like, this guy is everywhere.
Calvin Booth was right.
Making such an impact on the game. He really is. He is a hell of a defender.
Chris, wasn't Calvin Booth in the story I wrote before the season spot on about Peyton Watson?
Yes.
Spot on about what he could become. We've seen it over the course of the year with Watson. He's an unbelievable help side defender with the block shots. His hustle and mindset, like, he jumped over Jokic to block a shot tonight and got a standing ovation.
That was downright dangerous.
What? What the hell is that?
I don't know.
But, like, the dude is a maniac out there on defense, and his shot is up and down. He's had a colder streak this past month, but, he's better than anticipated still as a shooter in his NBA career so far. You hope he gets closer to high 30s, but Watson, he can get hot. He's a great defender. He rebounds. The dude's great. And I think for the Denver side, you've seen this year, Christian Brown, he's gotten better over the course of this season, started off a little bit slow defensively compared to last year when he was trying to carve out his offensive role. But I think for this Denver team, man, I wasn't overly concerned about their depth ahead of the season because of the bet on youth. And I'm not concerned at all right now either. I think this team is fine and in good shape. And if anything, could potentially end up better than they were last year. To me, I don't think Boston can beat Denver in the finals or even compete with Denver. Personally, I don't.